Looks like they've had a really bad argument. Holmes's feelings have been hurt, and Watson's just like glaring at him with his beady little eyes like, I hate you now. Yep. Hello everybody, I'm Crazy KO, and welcome back to Sherlock Holmes vs. Jack the Ripper. Now, we had our first murder last episode. We did some sleuthing around. We found some... Yeah, in silence. Sorry again about that. This time, it's fine. It's working. It's good. Life is good. Once more. Yeah. And now we are sending... Well, Sherlock is sending Watson to investigate so that it looks like Watson is investigating and not Sherlock Holmes, because he doesn't want people to overtly know that he is exploring the case. But we are going to open with yet another news article from the Star. Yay. The largest circulation of any evening paper in the kingdom. 1/2 penny. Nice. So, Leather Apron, more about his career, his latest movements in the borough. The sense of fear with which the murder of the unfortunate woman Nichols has thrown over the neighborhood, and especially over her companions, shows no sign of decreasing. A number of the street wanderers are in nightly terror of Leather Apron. One of our reporters visited one of the single women's lodging houses last night. It is in Thrall Street, one of the darkest and most terrible-looking spots in Whitechapel. The house keeps open till 1 o'clock in the morning and reopens again at 5. In the house nightly are 66 women who got their bed for tuppence? What? 4 pence? Right, because it's a D for some reason. The proprietor of the place, who is also owner of several other houses of a similar character in the neighborhood, told some gruesome stories of the man who now comes to be regarded as the terror of the East End. Night after night, he said, had women come in a fainting condition after being knocked about by Leather Apron. He himself would never be out in this neighborhood after 12 o'clock at night, except with a loaded revolver. The terror, he said, would go to a public house or coffee room and peep in through the windows to see if a particular woman was there. He would then vanish, lying in wait for his victim at some convenient corner, hidden from the view of everybody. The police are making efforts to arrest him, but he constantly changes his quarters. Some of the unfortunate women state how he is now one of the low slums in the borough. One of them said she saw him crossing London Bridge as stealthily as usual, with his head bent, his skimmy coat turned up against his ears, and looking like he was in a desperate hurry. The hunt for Leather Apron began in earnest last evening. Constable 43 and 173, J Division, into whose hands Leather Apron fell on Sunday afternoon, were detailed to accompany Detective Enright of the J Division in a search through all the quarters where the crazy Jew was likely to be. They began at 10:30 in Church Street, in Shoreditch, rumor having located the suspected man there. They went through the lodging houses, into pubs, down side streets, threw their bull's-eye into every shadow, and searched the quarter thoroughly, but without result. The hunt continued later down in the Brick Lane neighborhood. Florendon Lane became Leather Apron's preferred lodging place lately. He was not found here, however, and the search, which then took the direction of London Hospital, resulted in nothing. It is the general belief that the man had left the district. The clue furnished by the woman who denounced the man on Sunday is a very unfortunate one. Her offer to prove by 2 women was Leather Apron was seen walking with the murdered woman in Baker's Row at 2 o'clock last Friday morning. It is the most direct bit of evidence that yet has appeared. His conduct on Sunday was as usual. He never answers a question when it is put to him, and only speaks under strong compulsion. Mike, the grocer in George's Yard, dwelt a long time last evening on the peculiarity. He knows Leather Apron very well, and has known him for 6 years. He says that the man is unquestionably mad. Fun. And that anyone who met him face to face would know it. That his eyes are never still, but are always shifting uneasily, and he never looks anyone in the eye. Leather Apron used to live in the lodging house around the corner from the grocery, and was turned out of there some months ago with an order not to return. The lodging house is a few doors below the model doorway in which the Turner woman was found with 39 stabs. Nice. Alright. And that's based on, there was actually, like, in the actual real Jack the Ripper case, there was a Jewish person who was known as Leather Apron who was suspected of the crime. Yeah. So that's cool. Which, I mean, didn't help at all, because then you had a bunch of anti-Semitism stuff happening. Alright. Can you guys work this out? There's tension between you. With that, I think we were hello, what's this?
There is nothing more to do here.
Right, that's our murder board. Okay. I think we were heading out, if memory serves. La la la. Ooh. I think we're going to the police station. Am I right in thinking this? Silence. Complete and utter silence. She hates me.
Well, if I follow Holmes's instructions, then to begin my investigation into this leather apron, I must first head to the police station.
Ta-da! Police station! For a second I thought he was just gonna run straight into the wall, and I was like, really, Watson? That incompetent?
Good evening, sir. What do you... I know you. You were here last week with Sherlock Holmes.
Indeed. I have come to bring a message from Sherlock Holmes for Inspector Aberline.
Very well, I will pass it on. But come to think of it, someone was asking about you recently. Finley, the caretaker of some shady boarding house nearby. Does that mean anything to you?
Ah, perhaps. Actually, I read in the Star that you have arrested a suspect called Leather Apron.
You shouldn't believe what you read in that rag, sir. The man is being hunted, but we have yet to get our hands on him, and we aren't close to it either.
Why ever not?
Bah, he's a specialist in the streetwalker racket.
Paper's
These girls make pitiful witnesses, and we don't inspire confidence. Furthermore, the man seems to be pretty discreet lately. Someone must be helping to hide him.
How to get on his trail, then?
One of these girls would have to confide in us and give a valid description of the man. Then we'd ask around the journeymen, who use aprons, I imagine.
Well, goodbye.
Sounds pretty
I
straightforward.
must go to Finley's boarding house.
I can do that. Ta-da!
I must go to Finley's boarding house.
You just said that. Go talk to him.
Good evening, Finley.
Oh, good evening, sir. Aren't you the gentleman who was with the
voice
great
is warm.
detective the other time?
That is indeed me, Dr. Watson. Tell me, Finley, I was told that you were looking for us at the police station.
Indeed, I wanted to thank you for last time, you know. That vagrant has never set foot round mine again. I even found a tenant, one who pays his rent, I mean.
That's good.
You don't seem very happy, but you were lucky to have found a good tenant so quickly.
It's just that this man is very strange. He paid several days in advance and I gave him a key to the place. Since then, he goes out every night and returns at ungodly hours.
Suspicious.
I'm sure he goes to visit the
Sherlock
ladies,
Holmes
but
being
still,
undercover and investigating
every
things.
night. And when he moved in, something must have broken in
I don't
his
know.
case and stank up the stairs in his room for 2 days. I think it was a jar. It must be over there.
Intriguing.
Tell me, have you heard talk of Leather Apron?
By the papers, that's all. This man seems very sinister.
Do you know any journeymen who
Sinister.
use this type of apron?
The slaughterhouse butchers, I believe, but definitely the cobblers. I know one, old Isaac Solomonovich. His workshop is on a small street in the Jewish community, across from the hospital. He's a good man. He can help you. But you know, the people there are very close and don't share much with non-Jews.
Thank you, Finley.
At your
Fine,
service,
we're a
sir.
disguise. Okay, you said something about a jar breaking. Who just leaves a bunch of nails on their bench? Watson! Watson! Oh, never mind, it's on the stairs.
This odour is very strong indeed, but the whole neighbourhood as such has a dreadful stench. Finley might have an idea as to what this jar that contained.
What do you want, Doctor?
You're right, the pieces of the jar that your tenant broke do give off a strange smell.
It's true. That's quite normal given his trade.
Yes, and what would the trade be of your strange tenant.
Yeah.
A doctor, like yourself, I believe.
Canadian.
Dr. Tumbletea, a foreigner. Canadian, perhaps.
Dr. Tumbletea. It might be interesting to know more about him.
Go Canadians.
Thank you, Finley.
At your service, sir.
Alrighty. So that's not what I wanted. We have a jar. Map. So we need to talk to some ladies, I assume. Or talk to Holmes, but let's wander. Hey Lucy, you're still in your window. Is that all you do for the remainder of your life?
Oh, it's you. I'm coming. Dr. Watson, how are you?
Well, and yourself? And how's your uncle?
Oh, he sleeps a lot, but he doesn't seem to be suffering. Your medicine has worked wonders. Thank you again.
It was the least I could do. I have come to see you about a certain leather apron. Have you heard of him?
Oh, yes, of course. Terrible things are said about that man.
Have you ever come across him?
Goodness gracious, no. But I know that he has threatened and taken many girls in my situation. I don't know what more I can say, but Bella would be able to tell you some.
Who is Bella?
Bella Pullman. She's the landlady of the place
She's a
where
vampire.
I could take you there if you like.
Please do.
Aw, that's so nice.
It's me. It's Lucy. This gentleman would like to speak to Bella. It's the doctor who helped me. I must leave to return to my uncle. Thanks again.
Bet she's gonna get murdered. Are you Bella? Who? Oh no, I get to go actually inside. Okay. Hi, you look like
Out of the
fun.
way, I don't like the look of you.
You have a voice like a weird mushroom man. And I don't know what a mushroom man is, but that's what they sound like. Oh, hello. We are in a brothel. Yeah.
If you'd be patient, Madam Bella will arrive in a moment.
Thank you.
Good evening. I am Dr.
Hey,
Watson. It
she's
is
from the
young
boat.
Lucy who told me
She's
to
from
come
New
see you.
Orleans.
So
She
you're
moved her
the good
business here.
Samaritan who saved her
Apparently
uncle
after we went
without
to New
asking
Orleans,
for
it
anything in
trashed the place.
return.
Someone wanted
And
to be
now
there
you've come to
anymore.
see me, no doubt, to explain that the poor little thing doesn't belong here, and you will see to her future. Well, if you expect me to let her leave with you...
It's not that, ma'am. You should know I am a married man.
And why should that matter?
Or are you just lying?
I believe there has been a misunderstanding. The reason that Lucy sent me here is that you may be able to give
Why
me
does
some
he live with
information
Holmes?
about leather apron.
Maybe he's
Are
married
you a
indoors.
doctor or a constable?
I am most certainly a doctor, but I am acting in this matter in a private capacity,
Both a
and I
doctor
would
and
like
a
to find this man.
constable
Well,
doctor.
if you're able to rid us of him, I'll give you a week's worth of free passes. That man is a thorn in our sides. He spies on the girls in the streets and watches them inside the houses, spying through the windows. And as soon as they're finished
Sounds
with a
fun.
client, he jumps on them without any warning and forces them to give him their money. I've never seen him, but one of my girls was attacked by this man, and she said that he wore a leather apron and carried a knife. And his face, oh, he has a horrible head, with rat's eyes and a deformed mouth. She even said that she knew his name, Pizer or Pizer, I think. But I don't know where she can be found. Margie, Nutcracker, the girl I'm talking about, could tell you more, but I had to let her go last week.
Why?
Why did you let Margie go?
The poor girl caught a shameful sickness, and the symptoms have attacked her face, if you know what I mean. So I gave her notice, and a little bit to help her
She's not
along.
pretty anymore.
I don't know where she is now, but she'll certainly be getting treatment at the clinic if she's still in the neighbourhood.
Did you speak to the police?
What would they do? Who cares about the girls in the streets?
Would you have received a visit from another doctor, a stranger by the name of Tumbletea?
I'm just like you, Doctor, sworn to secrecy in my profession. But as I've taken a fancy to you, I can tell you that this name is not unknown to me. And if you do me a little
Why does
favour,
everyone
it
want
is possible I
favours?
might remember something about him.
True.
What kind of favour must I do for you?
You see that man over there? He's a rich artist,
That man?
a
Oh, okay.
painter, a regular client round here. Well, yesterday he came and left his cane in the umbrella stand in the hall before going into one of the rooms. Well, when he returned to this room, the cane had disappeared. It's a cane with a massive silver knob. Must be worth a fortune. He threatened to call the police unless he got free services in my establishment for a year. I'll be forced to accept, unwillingly, of course, given the services that he's demanding, unless the cane is found.
Did you question the residents regarding the theft?
They didn't see anything, and there's not one of them that would risk stealing from a client here.
Who was in the room when your weasel of a client was in the chambers?
There were a few that came and went, but Mary could tell you better than I can, because she was the one at the counter yesterday.
Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
No problem, my angel.
Oh, I'm an angel. Yeah. The brothel mistress likes me. Aww. Hey, cleaning lady.
What happened to this rug?
Oh, it's when we got a coal yesterday. I asked the young man to fill the pail. Came back to put it down, but his feet were covered in soot and he made a black print. Madam Bella said it was my fault and I got a shilling's penalty. I also have to clean the print and it's no picnic. He has immense feet, that boy.
I heard that there was a theft yesterday. Did you see anything?
No, and I was here the whole time.
Who delivers the coal?
It's never the same person. I'd never seen that lad before.
Do you always keep an eye on the coat stand?
Oh, yes. Well, when the coal delivery came, a client came out of the chambers and stopped me from seeing the boy who brought the bucket of coal. You don't think he would have taken advantage?
Probably.
Until next
considering
time.
It's Whitechapel and
pleasure,
everyone
sir.
is incredibly poor. Okay.
Best not to stray off in that direction. Best not to stray off in that direction.
Poor you. Which guy asked for a refill? There's people laughing. Ah, there it is. Can I get a refill? Got it. Yeah, that's fun.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my dear man. I was led to believe that you're a doctor.
None of the residents of this establishment are among my patients, sir.
Oh, you're not here as a doctor, but as a man, then. I understand. This is my kind of place, too. It's in these houses in Whitechapel that you find the girls that are the most natural and definitely the most docile.
Your way of speaking about these women is not that of a gentleman, sir. I heard that you were the victim of a robbery here.
Oh, I'm not complaining. The loss of that walking stick will certainly bring me a very pleasant compensation.
He didn't actually lose it.
What does your cane look like?
The stick is ebony, about 35 inches long.
I'm gonna kill
The
that
round
cat.
knob is made from chiseled silver with a ring around the middle of the same workmanship,
It's making a mess.
just like the tip for that matter. If you find it, don't tell a soul. Keep it for yourself. Got it?
Well,
Or
goodbye,
not.
sir.
Goodbye. Or until next time. And good evening.
Tea. Okay, oh. Hey, was that you? That was totally conscious. I already clicked on that one. He didn't want to go there.
These paintings are suggestive, at the very least.
Yeah.
These paintings are suggestive, at the very least.
Yeah, he didn't want to go
Best
there.
not to stray off in that direction.
But I guess I could talk to her.
Loosen your belt, my friend. You're in Whitechapel. These girls would die of hunger if we weren't here.
Oh, Oh, never mind.
Well,
I was hoping to
goodbye,
actually
sir.
talk to her.
Goodbye. Or until next time.
but- Yeah, we get
And
it.
good evening.
Non-maniacal laughter.
These paintings are suggestive, at the very least.
Okay, well then I got everything. Let's see, maybe there's...
A large black footprint. These paintings are suggestive, at the very least.
Don't dig in there! What are you doing? He's found this box. It's like this wide and this long. And Sam is this massive fluffy cat. I don't know if you've seen him. He's just stuffed himself in it. It's full of stuff which has now fallen over. Wow, Sam. Okay, we've done everything on this view. All he does is talk about the art.
These
But it's just the
paintings
same
are
thing.
suggestive, at the very
Why do I
least.
need to look at them all?
These paintings are suggestive, at the very
Suggestive,
least.
At the very least. Okay, which one's the exit? Which one's the exit?
Best not to stray off in that direction.
Where's the exit?
Best not to
There's no
stray off
exit.
in that direction.
I'll have to use my map. Okay. There is no exit. There isn't. No exit. No exit.
Can I get a refill, please?
You do. No exit. Oh, found the exit. Doo-da-doo, doo-da-doo, da-da-da. Watson. Ba-doo, ba. Hey, have you seen anything?
You're in a rush, my pretty. Come, I'll have you done so quickly you'll only have time to pay.
Thanks. Not really what I was going for, but sure. Let's just talk to...
If you have the means, I can let you pass before everyone. But behind me.
Okay, Okay. Alright, so it's a brothel. We did have to go to the clinic about the girl's face, and then we can maybe locate her. So we'll maybe do that. And then we'll look into the cowboy. I don't know where entirely to go. Hey, Doctory Doo. Hello. Watson.
Good evening, Doctor. My name is Dr. Watson. Pleased to meet you.
Good evening. I am Dr. Gibbons. Likewise.
I have come to see you about one of your patients. Margie goes by the nickname Nutcracker, who gets her prescription from the clinic. She's a lady of the night and is afflicted with a venereal disease.
I know who you're talking about. Indeed, Margie has syphilis and is being treated with mercury.
Do you have her address?
No. And for your information, she left London
know,
for
mercury
good
is
3 days ago.
poisonous.
She felt threatened.
Yay, medicine!
Margie felt threatened. But by whom?
I believe that Margie was particularly scared of a terrifying man who attacked her once.
Did she say the name Pizer or Pyther?
Unfortunately, she didn't give a name, but she described a man with shifty, rat-like eyes and a mouth twisted in a sinister grimace.
Cool, more red
Did
eyes.
Margie have any idea where this man who terrified her so much might be found?
No, but she told me that another girl who'd been attacked like her had told her that this man worked in a cobbler's run by an old Israeli. Also, she saw him again last week, the night of the big fire. She told of going to see the fire like most everyone else in the area. While there, she recognised her attacker in the crowds gathered at the warehouses. There was no mistaking a face like that, she said. She kept an eye on the man the whole time the firemen were working in order to avoid him.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
He actually has people in his hospital this time, so that's kind of fun. Ooh. Yeah.
These footprints are the same as those found on the rug at the brothel.
Cool. Oh, I guess I could ask him about it then. Probably, maybe. Hey.
What can I do for you, my dear colleague?
Footprints, footprints.
Pardon me, Doctor, but who made the large
that I
black
hit
footprints
this
there
way.
near the beds?
Saw
The brother of
clues.
one of my patients. The poor thing had a leg amputated after colliding with a carriage. We arranged to find her a
Oh, she
prosthesis.
thinks I'm cheating.
Prostheses are very expensive. How did this man pay?
He told me that one of his uncles gave him a walking stick with a chiselled silver knob. I agreed to accept this knob in exchange for a simple prosthesis with harness. But this object is of great value, and I could finance half a dozen other prostheses by selling it on Petticoat Lane.
Doctor, I have reason to believe that the silver knob that you possess is from a cane that was stolen by the man who brought it to you, and I believe I know to whom it belongs.
That's what I was worried about. The story of the uncle seemed a little strange. Nevertheless, you must have proof of what you claim. I will show you all of the knobs that we have here. If you find the knob that the young man gave me, I will believe you.
So be it, but something is bothering me. I will need a complete cane, not just a knob.
Don't worry, dear chap, build one. I can loan you some tools. Make
Yay,
use of the odds and ends in my
crafting
cupboard.
time with
It'll help get
Watson.
rid of it.
Woodworking.
Well, I shall try.
It's a hobby we never
I
knew
will have
Watson
to
liked.
remember the description that Sickert gave. Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Until we meet again, my dear colleague.
What? Weren't you gonna show them to me? Where? I missed that part. I was busy daydreaming of Watson picking up woodworking as a hobby. I'm sorry. I missed that. Where are they?
Your dialogue button.
Dialogue. Watson is in my cupboard. Is that your cupboard? Where's his cupboard? Oh, there's a cupboard. Wow, that is a bunch of odds and ends in a cupboard.
Cane bits.
And toques. Yes. Okay. So, the one that we want.
Let's go to inventory.
Okay, we want to just quickly check on this. Ebony, 35 inches long, round knob made of chiseled silver with a ring around the middle in the same workmanship, just like the tip for that matter. If you find it, don't tell a soul. Okay.
The tape is in centimeters. Just see it.
Oh. Why is the tape in centimeters and not inches? Ebony is black though, right?
Yes.
So there's only one black one.
I have to put it in the tube.
Black. Only one black one. Alright, and then the tip and the top have to match. What?
And the middle.
Which so far I'm leaning towards this one and this one. Because this one has like a ring. And it's fancy. Oh yeah, and there's this part too. So that would make sense that those three would go together. Where does that go?
There, all done. Holmes couldn't have done better himself.
I'm smart. Mostly
What
because
can I
that
do
one
for
was the
you, my
only
dear
one that
colleague?
looked really fancy and made of silver.
I believe I found the knob from the stolen cane, which I succeeded in putting back together.
That's the one. And yet I cannot give it to you, Doctor. I will only return it to the police, and only if there is an official complaint against me.
Would there be a way to convince you to give me the cane?
Find me a dozen solid adjustable harnesses for wooden leg prostheses, and it's yours, Doctor.
Goodbye, Dr. Gibbons.
Sounds
Until
like
we meet
so
again, my
much
dear
fun.
colleague.
A dozen. That's a lot.
This interview with the
Thinking?
doctor revealed an important fact.
He's
Leather
reminiscing
Apron could not
into
be
his
the
own
Bucks
brain,
Row murderer.
apparently.
According to Margie,
Watson has
the villain
conversations with
passed
himself
most of the night
all
of the
the
crime at the
time.
fire. He could not have been at the scene of the murder at the moment it was committed. He is nonetheless a dangerous character.
Dangerous character. Okay, so we gotta find some leather harness. We gotta find this dangerous character. Where's my map? Where's my map? think we're just gonna maybe wander a little bit. Okay. Let's see if we can get Watson killed. That'd be great if you could get Watson killed.
A cobbler's shop.
That could be good. I doubt it's open in the middle of the night.
There's nobody here. How very odd.
Okay, you're just gonna go inside. Nice one, Watson.
There's no one here. How odd.
I say, these things look like harnesses. Oh my, they are noisy. Good evening, sir. Pardon the interruption. The door was open. I didn't think that I would find anyone working at this hour.
Good evening, sir. I didn't hear you come in.
Say, those things that made noise, they are really harnesses, aren't they?
Yes, horse harnesses. But I must tell you, sir, that the store is normally closed at this hour. That is why I've asked you to return tomorrow.
I didn't come about my shoes. I came to speak of a cobbler, perhaps one of your former employees? A man with very particular habits.
You aren't with the police by any chance? I'm sorry, but I do not want to speak of anything but shoes with you.
I am not a policeman. I am Dr. Watson. It's Mr. Finlay, who told me that you might be in a position to inform me.
Ah, that Mr. Finlay is a very brave man. And if he sent you, then you must certainly be a worthy man also.
Cool.
So,
Yay,
Doctor,
Finlay. It's opening
who
all
is
kinds of
this
doors for
cobbler
us.
with strange habits?
The man of whom I speak is called Pizer or Pyther, a man with a frightening face. Do you know him?
Yes, John Pizer. He worked here for a while, but he is no longer here.
Do you know where I can find him?
No, and if you look, you will not find him.
Why?
Because he is in hiding, Doctor. You see, a week ago, a horrible murder took place in the
Horrible
neighborhood.
murder.
A rumor circulated that he might have been responsible for this crime. They say he has quarreled with women of certain virtue in the past, if you understand me.
Yes.
Isaac, it is about the Bucks Row case that I have come to see you. I have the certitude and an incontestable witness that Pizer is innocent, at least of this crime, although he has attacked a number of street women. If he doesn't come forward to explain himself to the authorities, he is condemned to hiding and to take the fall for this murder. Furthermore, it will cast suspicions on your community because they must be hiding him. And while the whole police force is hunting for him, they cannot concentrate on the real assassin who roams the streets and, one never knows, may take any one of you any day.
If what you say is true, your visit is a godsend to our community, Doctor. I tell you something.
I like this guy.
I know Sergeant Thick,
Just hang
an
around
honest
more often.
policeman who lives in the area. I'll tell John's family that he must go there to explain himself. But if you could please go as soon as possible to the police to give them this report that you say is incontestable.
I will go as soon as I take leave of you.
Thank you. If I can ever be of service in any way, do not hesitate to ask.
You can, you can.
Could we transform your horse harnesses into harnesses for wooden legs? Adjustable harnesses.
A good craftsman can do anything, Doctor. And I do believe that's what I am. Come back in a while and it will be done. That will be my thanks for what you have done.
Sweet. Cool.
I
Then
shall
that will fix the
return
cane
later.
issue.
At your convenience, sir.
It's
I
later
am
now?
spent. I would like to return home. But I promised to go to the police as soon as I could. Now then, let's go to
Should
the
maybe
police
stop
station.
talking out loud. This guy's gonna be totally freaked out by you, Watson. Internal thoughts. Internal thoughts. The best kind of thoughts. To the police station. Hello, sir. Meanwhile, ooh, are we getting our second cat's meat?
Will you?
Yes.
Hey, Doctor, you seem tired. Were you wandering the darker parts of Whitechapel all night?
You could say that. I have some information on Leatherapron, the man of whom we spoke earlier.
Do you know where he is?
No, but I can clear him of the Bucks Row crime. A witness proved him totally innocent.
Oh, Watson, is it only now, after many hours of walking, that you decide to pass on the important message that Inspector Aberline is waiting for?
But, no. But what are you doing here, Holmes?
I was worried, Watson, and with good reason it would appear. Go give the message to this policeman and let's go home. Nobody appreciates me hanging around here, you know, and it's freezing cold.
Ah, Cradle, none too soon. You will take the testimony of this.
No, you continue with your duty shift. I must find Chandler in Ambury Street. He's struck again.
Who?
The murderer, the Bucks Row assassin.
Hanbury Street. Let's go, Watson. We have no time to lose.
Can I travel there on my map? I wish this thing gave me street names. I mean, it sort of does, but not enough to be really helpful.
Chicksand Street.
Huh?
There's Chicksand Street.
Yep, St. Mary Street. But yeah, why wouldn't you give me street names here? Alright guys, which street do you think it's on?
Philpott Street.
I don't know. Let's just go.
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay.
I have no reason to go that way.
Never mind, Holmes is gonna make me...
I have no reason to go that way. I have no reason to go that way.
Apparently.
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay, never mind. We're not teleporting anywhere.
I have no reason to go that way.
Okay, I'll just leave the building like a normal human. This isn't a Star Trek episode, apparently. Ah! Conscience is humming gleefully in the corner at my dismay. Am I supposed to be going home?
No.
But I clicked
I have no reason to go that way.
I did.
I have no reason to go that way.
Why do you hate me, Sherlock
I have
Holmes?
no reason to go that way.
Why are you yelling at
I have
me?
no reason to go that way.
There's
I have no
nowhere
reason
else
to go that way.
There's nowhere else to go. What is this? Why is it over there? What?
Hanbury Street. Let's go, Watson. We have no time to lose.
What? What? Oh, I control Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Ew, what happened?
You can go in, Mr. Holmes. She's there. We didn't touch a thing.
Cool. Look out, look out. Celebrity coming through. Ba-doo, 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 ba-doo. I'm assuming I'm supposed to go up this way. We'll see. Nope. Okay, never mind. As Conscience says, I didn't know you could go up there. Ooh, there's blood up there. Apparently we don't care though. I am more brilliant than Conscious. I found the upstairs.
Don't meet the upstairs.
It's a secret. Ooh. Yeah, core warning again.
It was very good of PC Chandler to let us pass. He said no one has touched the corpse. It's the perfect opportunity for us to put our skills to the test. Watson, let's not waste it.
In the street? Okay.
So, Doctor, shall we examine our victim?
Ah, I'm tired, Holmes. I'm not sure if I am in a state to do this work.
Come, Watson, there's little time. Show me what you're made of.
Yay!
Oh, my God.
Pray, Watson, pull yourself together. Can you establish the time of the crime?
The extremities of the corpse
crouching there
are
and staring
cold,
at
and
it?
rigor mortis
Yes.
is beginning to set in.
Because I am magical.
I would say that the murder was committed over 2 hours ago, before 4:30 a.m.
Oh, and she's gone. We made her disappear? Yep, we're magical. We made her disappear. She looks a little bit like the Wicked Witch of the West. It was Dorothy.
Now let's look at the stomach, or at least what remains of it.
It's dreadful, Holmes. Who could do that to someone?
That's what you're here for, Watson. Tell me what this man has done.
The stomach has been entirely opened and... Oh, my God!
I like how he
number of
sounds so
organs have been
horrified, but his
removed.
face is just
So
blank.
you're telling me that the organs were removed, Watson. They weren't ripped out.
Not at all, Holmes. On the contrary, this is clearly the work of an expert. I couldn't have done any better myself. And the uterus is missing.
What? Organs are missing, uterus removed. Right, yeah, we're gonna do that at the end. Okay.
A piece of coarse muslin. 2 combs, curiously arranged.
London, 20th August 1888, Royal Sussex Regent. M2S.
A torn envelope. It smells of rubbing alcohol. It contains 3 pills. I will take one. 2 should suffice for the police.
Cool.
Let's look at this poor woman more closely.
Oh yes, because this is fun. Oh, I need my magnifying glass.
The tongue is swollen. A bruise.
Ew.
The victim's face appears to have bruising, wouldn't you say?
Under the maxilla and cheek. There is less on the right side.
Look at her neck. What can you tell me?
There are 2 incisions.
Look at her neck. What can you tell me?
There are 2 incisions.
Is that it? You have both of your ears. They're different colors, but they're both there. Alright. I'm gonna say that's looked at. Yep. No, 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 no. Oh.
The blood is a dozen inches or so from the ground. Blood stains on the wall.
Fun. Okay, we looked at those. Is there anything over here? Apparently that's nothing.
This apron is soaked with water and has left a clear mark on the ground. It must have been left in water for several hours and has been there for some time.
Okay.
What a stench! Nobody is hiding inside.
It'd be really funny if someone was actually hiding inside. Hello?
I have nothing to ask.
Okay, well I don't see anything else. Per se. Oh, oh, oh.
This door must lead to the cellar. The latch has been recently repaired.
Oh. Okay. Cool. Is that everybody? Oh. Oh. Yay, what tiny clue have I missed? There's a thing here, but it doesn't seem to care. Is there anything inside the house? No. No, Holmes, Holmes! Damn, it's green. Oh, there. Oh, okay. Oh.
Looky here. It would seem he has a mark on his left hand.
He? You mean she?
The victim
That
must
was
have worn a
Holmes.
large ring or several little ones, and someone pulled them off forcefully. This detail will be very valuable, Watson. You can be sure of that.
Cracked fingernails. Wait, you don't... Is that all we care about? Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. Here we go. Deduction board. Incision from the left to... right to left going around the neck. Organs were missing... Oh, linking to... Weapon of great size. Didn't use weapons. Used a knife with short, supple blade. Probably. Was removed and taken. Killer has a knowledge of anatomy. Killer lost the uterus. Killer went at it with a fury. Let's say knowledge of anatomy. Okay. Wound around the neck is jerky and not in one piece. And there is an incision on the neck from the right side, stopping in the middle of the throat. Murder used a bad knife. Used a very sharp blade. Murder panicked. So there's one from right to left, going around the neck. There's one from right side, stopping in the middle of the throat. Jerky not on one piece. I would say then that they panicked. Drew marks on her neck. Killer wanted to remove the glottis. I don't know what that meant. Or killer wanted to decapitate her. What? Question mark? Maybe? Sure. Yes? No. Oh, they're supposed to be green. Oh, okay. Weapon of great size. Oh, okay. Fine. Be that way. Bad knife. That would make sense. Can I have this back? Nope, that's still wrong. Oh. Apparently the murderer wanted to decapitate her. Okay. Sure. We'll go with that one. Alright. We got 3 of 3. Oh. Oh. I see. Alright, recent large scrape on the first phalanx of the middle finger. Which means that the victim struggled against murderer and scratched him. Must have worn one or more rings, which What's-His-Face told us. Chapman took off her rings. Murderer's a weak man. Murderer stole Chapman's rings. What? Oh, okay. So if that one's green, then we're okay? Oh, okay. I thought this one had to be green. I was very confused for a second. Body is cold, and the extremities and rigor mortis had barely started. Committed over 2 hours ago. Committed yesterday. Barely 2 hours. 4:30 a.m. After 4:30. Okay. Right, because it's really early in the morning now. Sorry, forgot that. I was very confused for a second. Items at the victim's feet are very orderly. Items felt the moment of murder. Item belonged to the killer. Items belong to the victim. Chapman struggled greatly. Some feminized murderer search Chapman. No? That means that this one's probably wrong. Belong to the victim. There we go. I was gonna say, that one's the only one that made sense. Chapman murderer likes combs. Oh yes, he has a comb fetish. Chapman's murderer is unfeeling and organized. Chapman's murderer panicked. If he panicked, he wouldn't have done things. I don't know why that means he's unfeeling, but sure. Okay. Page 1. Tongue is bloated. Which means victim was strangled.
The victim yelled.
The victim yelled. The victim was thirsty. Victim had bruises on right jawbone and beneath the left cheek. Murderer held the victim's chin with right hand. Murderer bit the victim. What? Because bites cause bruising. Murderer held the victim's chin with his left hand. Sorry, I'm just trying to myself to see how hands work. So then that would mean that cheat. Thumb was probably there, so...
What hand is that?
This is my left hand.
Good job.
I like how to think about that for a second. Left hand, there you go. Envelope is near victim's head. Oh, it goes down there. Okay. Envelope brought out by the victim. Envelope drifted near the head. Victim wanted to give an envelope to the killer. Ew. Although if he searched her, then it wouldn't really matter, but I don't know. Ooh. Sorry about that. Envelope fell out during the murder. Was holding an envelope in her hand. Envelope belongs to A. Chapman's killer. No. Aha! She was holding an envelope in her hand. Some blood spurts on the wall near the stairs. Okay. Blood on the fences a dozen inches off the ground. Victim had her throat slit while lying down, still alive. Victim had her throat slit while standing up. Victim had her throat slit while lying down and already dead. Well, it wouldn't spurt if you were dead. And that's too low down for it to be spurting if you were standing up, because it would be up there. So that one. Oh, wow, we got all kinds of deductionies from that. Murder slit the victim's throat with his right hand, which would make sense because he was holding her with his left hand. What? Both hands, yeah. Ah! Secretly, he has a third hand. He's an alien. Okay, Chapman's killer must be left-handed, must be right-handed, ambidextrous. If the wounds were so jagged on her neck, that could also deal with him using his non-dominant hand, because it would make more sense to hold her with your dominant hand. So... left... no. Right-handed. Oh, okay. It's the complete opposite of my logic, but... sure, game. Sure. Died of strangulation, partially strangled, and then had her throat slit. Died of fright. Oh, yes. Say that one. There we go. Alright, that's all 3 done. Yes. Are we done? Holmes? No. Why not?
There are no trails on the ground. There's no sign of a struggle. My dear Watson, now that we've found all of our clues, nothing remains but to subject them to our most likely hypotheses in order to deduce the facts.
We just missed one. Wow, we were doing actually really good then. Neither footsteps nor streaks of blood on the ground. Victim blurred the victim blurred the traces. Oh yes, after the victim was killed, they cleaned up all evidence of them being murdered. No. Killer blurred the traces. Victim wasn't dragged. Killer carried the victim. There we go. Chapman's murder cleaned the ground. Chapman's murder took place on the premise. Chapman's murder took place elsewhere on the premise.
I hear a noise coming from the street, Watson. The authorities are arriving. It's time for us to go.
Woo-hoo.
Holmes has been locked away in his room for days, always saying the same things. I'm thinking, Watson. Very good, Watson. As you wish, Watson. But I am thinking too, so much so that I can't sleep. Annie Chapman. Good Lord.
Poor Watson. There was a magnifying glass. Maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I thought there was a magnifying glass. Let's do some science! Is that a thing we can do? Science.
Holmes examined the broken jar that belonged to Finley's tenant. I wonder what this substance is. I don't recognize the odor.
Formalin, Watson.
Science.
This jar contained formalin.
Oh.
Interesting, don't you think? I've been waiting for something for days. Just the tiniest bit of news that would make sense of this whole matter. But there's nothing, neither from the press nor the police. Unless Inspector Aberline is holding on to some information without realizing its importance, which is quite possible. It is time for you to return to the police station in Whitechapel, Watson. And didn't you tell me that you had a matter to take care of it? Take advantage of it to learn more about this pill and its contents.
Ah, but Holmes, it's late, and spending another night in this district is hardly my idea of entertainment.
I know, Doctor, but we don't have any choice. Time is against us. Take your pistol in case you run into any troublesome characters.
Fine, as you wish, Holmes.
Okie dokie. Well, I think we're going to end this episode here. We will pick this up again, but thank you for joining me in Sherlock Holmes vs. Jack the Ripper. We've had our second murder now. Woo! Not that that's a good thing. Yeah, so we will head to the police station and Whitechapel again next time. So thanks for joining me, and see you then. Goodbye.